All right, happy Wednesday. You longtime viewers of this channel know that I used to do a segment quite a bit called Momo Monday. Well, it is not Monday. It's Wednesday, but you'll see I have his Momo with me. Right, Momo? And we're going to give hugs. Yeah. So we're going to call this Wellness Wednesday with Momo. Right, Mo? Yeah. Are you going to give everybody a hug? Okay. We're going to start with Momo hugs. Ready, Momo? Get ready to hug. Get ready to hug. Ready? Hug? I was going to try to get you to hug the camera. Do you want to hug me? The camera. Yeah, I know you're not big on the camera, but ready? Give everybody a hug, Momo. Ready? Hug like Snorlax. Hug. Yeah, there we go. That was a Momo hug. Oh, you actually didn't hate that. Good boy. Yeah, okay. Now you can sleep like a baby. Yeah, okay. That's a good Momo. Yeah, Momo knows what he wants. And what we normally used to do on Momo Monday is take 2 deep breaths. Right, Momo? Ready? So everybody just breathe in. And out. And breathe in. And out. And now that we're centered, like Momo, who's sitting here like a little Buddha or a little Snorlax, depending on how you want to take it. There you go, Momo. Yeah, there you go. We're going to talk about a mental health thing because that's what we do on Momo Monday, right? Do you want a hug? Turn around, hug. Hug, hug, hug. Hug it out, hug it out, hug it out. Come on. Come on, Mo. There you go. Hug it out. There we go. So I posted this, there we go, on Twitter a while back, and it got quite a response. An article of, okay, you want to go down? Good, I need my hands. Thank you, Momo. Okay, so I posted this online. Oh, fur up my nose. A while back, but by request, people asked that I cover it on Momo Monday. This is what you get if you join us on Twitch on Tuesdays. We talk about what the video is going to be for Wednesdays. So there's an incentive to join us on Tuesdays. We set the content for Wednesdays, Tuesdays. So this was what the Twitch viewers picked. Man, fur up my nose. But it's this article. Social media, but not video games, linked to depression in teens, according to Montreal study. Now, you guys know me. I don't do things based on just one study. I have to have a collection of studies. This is a recent study, but this has been consistent since around 2012. I think we started getting this data that video games actually had a positive impact on depression in teens after a period of video game addiction being linked to depression. Now, what seems to be coming out is that depressed teens use video games to self-medicate. The video games didn't cause the depression. So because there have been enough studies that have consistently had this result, we can say with relative certainty, unless we find somehow that something was really wrong with these studies, we can rely on this. Not so for social media. Social media was not as kind to teens. Screen time, and social media in particular, is linked to an increase in depressive symptoms in teenagers, according to a new study by researchers at Montreal Saint-Justine Hospital. The research team, led by Patricia, we don't care about this, investigated the relationship between depression and exposure to different forms of screen time in adolescence over a 4-year period. That length of time is important. What we found over and over was that the effects of social media were much larger than any of the other effects for the other types of digital screen time. The researchers studied behavior of over 3,800 young people from 2012 to 2018. They recruited adolescents from 31 Montreal schools and followed their behavior from grade 7 to grade 11. This is a fairly big study. Teenagers self-reported the number of hours per week they consume social media, such as Facebook and Instagram, video games, and television. Okay, bit of a weakness there because self-reporting is a little unreliable, but Conrad and her team found an increase in depressive symptoms when the adolescents were consuming social media and television, but not gaming. All the forms of screen timing, social media is the most harmful. The increased symptoms of depression are linked to being active on platforms such as Instagram, where teens are more likely to compare their lives to glitzy images in their feeds. It exposes young people to images that promote upward social comparison and makes them feel bad about themselves. These sorts of echo chambers, these reinforcing spirals, also continually expose them to things that promote or reinforce their depression. And that's why it's particularly toxic for depression. They also tested to see if the additional screen time was taking away from other activities that might decrease depressive symptoms, such as exercise, but found that was not the case. That's actually a very important control, eliminating that potential. But you notice a good pastime. The most surprising finding for Boers was that time spent playing video games was not contributing to depressive symptoms. The study suggests that the average gamer is not socially isolated, with more than 70% of gamers playing with other people, either online or in person. The finding surprised us, he said. Video gaming makes one more happy. It's a good pastime. A very awkward photo of the researchers for you. There's been an increased number of emergency room visits to the hospital related to teens having suicidal thoughts and behavior in recent years. Social media isn't the only reason, but it is a risk factor. As online relationships supplant in-person communication, Jinek said it's important that young people learn when posting about their lives online is healthy and when it can hurt. Here's hoping schools expand, good digital citizenship, very little research, though depression can be debilitating at any age, when it is found in adolescence, it is also linked to substance use, lower self-esteem, and poor interpersonal skills. He says on average, teens are spending 6 to 7 hours in front of a digital screen per day. Needs further investigation. And quite pointedly, they hope their research will be used by pediatricians and other healthcare providers to more effectively treat teens for depression. And the first thing people can do is stop blaming video games. Oh yeah, for those of you that haven't gotten your boss fight surveys in, get it tonight. Get it in by tonight, because I have to start compiling them to get the list of myths ready for Monday. I think video games contribute to depression is going at video games, making note, contribute to depression. That's definitely going on there because we know that's a myth now. And like I said, this has been a consistent thing since around 2012, that we keep seeing that video games are actually have positive mood and cognitive stuff. Anything can be misused. Good things like food and sex can be consumed in unhealthy ways. That doesn't mean they are inherently unhealthy. And I think we can finally close the door on video games consumed in moderation, with occasional binges. I maintain that's good for you. That don't take away from important things like exercise, alleviate depression. And for those of you who hate exercising, I'm sorry to break it to you, exercise is actually extremely important for managing depression. The body wants to move. You got to get the blood pumping. It's a brain-body synergy sort of thing. If you're not feeling good physically, you can't feel good mentally, and vice versa. So if you are feeling depressed, get up and move. That was free. It took me like 4 months of trauma therapy to actually believe that. So don't be stubborn like me. Get up and move. It might have not been quite 4 months, but they were like, exercise. And I'm like, how much freaking difference can this really make? What it ends up doing is it ends up like retraining your physiology to not kind of stay sunk at a depressed level. And a great many what we consider psychological conditions are actually held in the body. I know that sounds airy-fairy, but it's true. There is a brain-body connection that if you're stuck trying to sort of cognitively treat your mind, diet and exercise, make the body feel better so the brain can feel better. It's actually like super important and works a lot more than you think. So get up out of that chair, like even stretching to release that fascial layer that we get from like mouse hands. It helps a lot. It really helps because you don't feel achy all the time. But video games can alleviate depression. Here we have it, not for the first time. And I don't hold the same amount of stock in the socialization element. Yes, there is a social component to games. I don't necessarily think the online gaming is necessarily the thing, because you can get, happiness from talking about games too. It's a way to meet people. It's a way to meet new friends. Because, even introverted, shy people can come out of their shell when they're talking about something they're very passionate about. And if, you meet somebody over a common love of a video game, hey, you already have one thing in common, right? There you go, icebreaker. You like the same video game. Might be for different reasons, but you like the same video game. That's good. And so I think that once we stop demonizing games, once we stop going, they're sexist and they cause violence and all that stuff, and actually recognize that these games are a lifeline for a lot of teenagers. I was one of them. I know a lot of you guys are. Once we start realizing that games can have a very important role in positive mental health, not just because you meet people who like the same video games and you feel less isolated, but also, the stories in games, the characters in games connecting to these things, it helps us understand ourselves. It aids us in that voyage of self-discovery that's so important to a positive sense of self. You can't feel good about yourself unless you know your authentic self. And once you know your authentic self, you can show other people your authentic self without being quite so afraid of somebody rejecting your authentic self. Because once you're like firm in it, once you really know who you are and you know your strengths, if somebody rejects you based on stuff you actually like about yourself, you're able to go, well, they're just a jerk. And it's okay to do that from time to time. You shouldn't dismiss everyone that disagrees with you as just a jerk. But it is okay to go, no, this person is not listening to me. They are stuck in their own head. They don't want to listen. Hit that mute button if you must. Or fight with them for fun, like I do sometimes, including like 2 nights ago. It was kind of awesome, but I won't get into the details there. And so in this age where we basically have to get from now to, November 2020, the US election, and possibly even January 2020, like the next swearing in, we need to get there without all killing each other or wanting to kill each other, or, just going way out of proportion. Politics is important, okay? Politics is not more important than people. Politics is a way of helping people. It shouldn't replace your regard for the person right in front of you. But there are a lot of people who use political discourse as therapy. I don't think that's helpful. I have seen so many times what I thought was a discussion about ideas. I realized, I was really wrong. It was a discussion about identity that I was just not interested in having, because there's no winning on those ones unless everybody is prepared to sort of be open about your identity should not preclude you about talking about something. Your identity should not, lock you in to a certain opinion. Because identity and opinion are not the same thing. You can change your mind. You can't necessarily change your identity back to that authentic sense of self. And unfortunately, identity politics has sort of ranked identities in this day and age. And different political parties consider different things, better or worse. But there is definitely a level of bigotry of some identities better than others. And unfortunately, the gamer identity, which is a real thing, all the work I have done, everything I have sort of done field research on, the gamer identity is real. Us gamers do not relate to the world and media the same way a non-gamer does. I believe, and this is just a theory, I have no evidence to back this up, but I actually believe that gamer, in terms of how we react to media and how we consume media, actually outranks, like actually supplants any other identifier. So like a female gamer and a male gamer will probably have more in common than like a female non-gamer and a female gamer, or a male gamer and a male non-gamer, because of that common interest. Like I said, I can't prove that. I've seen that. You know, I have more in common with a bunch of guys online because of our shared love of gaming, and kind of coming at it through that. Like, it's one thing to enjoy a video game. It's another thing to consider yourself a gamer. That shared identity gives us more in common than I have with a lot of other women. And I think that's an extremely important thing. So not only for a gamer is gaming just fun and, you know, gaming providing us, you know, social activity that those of us with like asthma in the summer, oh my God, I'm freaking dying. If you heard me on Twitch last night, I was coughing for like the last 45 minutes. It sucked. So I stay inside in the air conditioning and play games, and I'm healthy and I'm happy. But I also think that playing games for a gamer is like a self-affirming thing. It's a much deeper level than just social interaction and superficial fun. It's actually an exploration of self. It's a validation. You know, the Stuart Smalley thing, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, this game likes me. Or in terms of Sekiro, this game likes no one, so one of us. But that's pretty deep, you know, and that's pretty profound, and some people may roll their eyes, but like, this connects to something else that happened in Twitch, that we started talking vaguely about music, and the guy's like, oh wait, I forgot I'm not supposed to talk about music. And I'm like, what? You know me, big on free speech. What do you mean you're not supposed to talk about music? We've talked about like furry porn and, you know, things like that on in the Twitch chat, and like fan service. We were talking about butt sumo. Why can't we talk about music? Well, I'm a music major, and basically what I got, they didn't say this, but that they'd had bad experiences in the past not connecting with people based on music. And I'm like, come on. What kind of music do you like? They like jazz. I'm like, I like jazz. And I started talking about Chet Baker, and, you know, John Coltrane, and was it Robert Johnson as well? And then we got into Delta Blues and Sun House and my favorite Sun House album. And then we started talking about like weird bands and stuff like that. And we shared. And that was because we're like, come on, share. You know, we're all gamers here, which is next, like, friendship leveled up. But it was cool. Like, somebody who felt they wouldn't be accepted for their opinions in that regard had a moment. Maybe it was temporary, maybe it wasn't, but they had a moment where they got acceptance. And of course that's going to alleviate depression. And that's what happens when a bunch of gamers get together, playing a game called Godhood, where I named my disciples furries and had statues of giant tentacles all over the place. Because we're a spreading cult of lust and peace. That's Beelzebub's religion. If you want to see more of this, come to Twitch. Scout was here to close. Oh, Scout's on the window. So let me get a cat to close off, because we have to do our breathing with kitties. I'm going to see if Lagarto's free. Hang on, cat commercial. Lagarto! Lagarto Gato! There you are! Hi, buddy! Lagarto Gato! Yeah! Hi! Hi! There's Lagarto Gato! Yeah! And yes, I'm wearing pajama pants. It's hot, and I didn't feel like we're wearing real pants. Okay, so here's Lagarto Gato. There we are. And yes, I am calling him Lizard Cat. That is his full name. Ready, Lagarto? We're going to do breathing, okay? Okay, breathe in. And out. And breathe in. And out. And Lagarto is feral, and he's 16 years old now, and he's finally decided he loves love. Oh, do we not talk about your age? Yeah. But if, like, Lagarto can get over that stuff and heal and love, so can you. So you ready, Lagarto? Let's give hugs. Okay, here we are. Hug. There we are, cat hugs. There we go. You're like, what is going on, eh, buds? Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. Okay, guys, get your boss fight stuff in. And if you still want to participate in that stuff, the only way to do it is through Patreon. So help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/Leanna K. Look how huggy Lagarto is. Yeah. Love, right, Lagarto? Yeah. Yeah, we love hugs. And you love Momo, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, you love Momo. Okay, this is just ridiculously cute. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. Right, Lagarto? Yeah. Mwah.